Hey, yo, hello, 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 hello. What are we gonna talk about right now? Oh, who knows? Who knows? All shaving, fresh shave, feeling good. Warrior culture, baby. Culture, baby. Warrior culture. That's right, that's right. You see, I was taught that shaving the face is more warrior than a beard. And I say that I agree with that for right now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at this beach, look at this beach. See this? See that beautiful water? Now, why? Why is the shaven face a sign of a warrior, not a beard? Because what we see lately in media and stuff, the beard is like all Viking and Game of Thrones and that's not it, man. Because to cross over into the underworld with a beard is bad, bad news. That's why warriors always ready to go. You feel me? Alright. What's the word? That's what it is. What is the word? What's the word? You know, is it a revelation day? Could it be? Could it be the day? That revelation day? Now, why would I talk about Revelation? Give you the answer right off the bat. Because that's the beginning, yo. Now, when I say that I'm gonna break into Revelation, I really mean that I'm breaking it open, just how in the book describes happens. The thing about the book of Revelation is it was written by John. So in order to understand Revelation, you have to understand John. And you have to understand his relationship with the master. But before I get into that, I just want to greet you guys, my bros, my men, you know, because I ain't no pastor or preacher. I'm just a guy. I'm just a seeker. And the things that I've read line up with my experiences with the spiritual realm. It's as simple as that. Like, I'm not anything other than just a man. So I'm kind of stuck right in the middle of Revelation. And believe it or not, these videos, I'm going to wait for that to go by. These videos are part of my breaking open through this book so that I can get past the halfway point that I'm stuck at right now. And when I say stuck, I don't mean it as in like you get stuck like on a math problem. I mean stuck as in there is the other side of the valley and there's a gully that I can't cross until I create a bridge, and this is the bridge that I'm creating to cross it so that I can finish the rest of the book. Why am I doing this? Why am I making these things known? Mostly because they help men. They help young men, you know? Because that's what we need right now. I'm a warner, man. I'm warning you, men. I'm warning you, fathers. I'm warning you, sons. Because we've been tricked and we've been trapped. And there's a lot of stuff that you men have been putting out through text messages and stuff that is exposing you. And you know what I'm talking about. You're exposing yourself on the internet. You're exposing yourself sending pictures to people. And let me tell you something. It's not sitting right upstairs. And if you think as a man that you're going to be able to stand and explain those pictures in front of all the heavenly hosts, angels, baby, we're talking angels, soul babies, baby. It ain't gonna happen. it just won't. You think you're gonna stand in front of that? Guarantee you won't. Now, obviously there's nothing you can do to reverse what's already been done, but you can start from right now, knowing that every action that you're doing is being on record. Angels write fast, baby. They don't miss a beat. They don't miss a thing you do. In fact, it's gotten to the point where it's all digital. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So if you think that you can stand and justify all of that, be my guest. But for those of us who are just men, and we know that we are just men and nothing more, and we don't let our egos get the best of us, and if they do, we are quick to ask for supernatural help. So John, right? John's the last book in the gospel. There's a lot of rumors around John. But the thing that you have to understand about the Gospels is that they were revealed over time. In fact, you might not even be able to say that Matthew wrote Matthew, Mark wrote Mark, Luke wrote Luke, and John wrote John. Let me tell you my two guesses. I think John wrote all four of them, or Paul wrote all four of them. Just similar writing styles. Or if it was revealed over time, we'll throw in the third. This would just be the normal speculation. Is that Matthew was revealed, and then Mark revealed his through Matthew. That's why Matthew and Mark are very similar. Very, very similar. And then we get the third book, because unlike the book of Mark that had Matthew to go off of, the third book, Luke, has both Matthew and Mark to go off of. And we get this, Luke does some Jedi stuff with it. The third book of the gospel is very interesting. Now, I've grown up like hearing this stuff, and I know the church. And it only seems like in the past 5 years, people have all of a sudden started saying that Luke is a physician. Never once did I ever hear that. Ever. And I'm not going to doubt it. But I think he was more supernatural than he was a physician. So then we get the book of John. John comes along with this fourth book. And keep in mind, the fact that there's 4 gospels is important, because once we get into Revelation, that number 4 is going to be reoccurring. Ba ba boom, ba ba boom, ba ba boom, ba ba boom. Waiting for this advertisement to fly by. Guess what it's for? Vodka soda. Go get your vodka soda, everybody. Criminy. So, hold on to that number 4. John comes in. And that rumor, by the way, is that John doesn't die. That's the rumor. John doesn't die. And this rumor was started in the church. Now, when I say rumor, don't think like fake or this or that. Rumors can be true. There's nothing that says that a rumor can't be true. So when I say it's a rumor, I'll leave it up for you right now to decide if you think it's true or not, that John doesn't die. But we get the book of John, and John creates a gospel that is unlike the other 3 completely. Now I'm just thinking right now if I should go back into the book of John and do this comparison with the Gospels, but I don't think I should, because guess what? If the Gospel of John is the latest one that we have, then it's not doing the church any favors to preach from Matthew and Mark, Luke, and John all at once. You'll see preachers do this, man. They'll be preaching out of Matthew, and they'll get all into their flow, and all of a sudden start pulling verses out of the other Gospels. And you can't really do that. You've got to stay in your lane. The book of Matthew is a lane, the book of Mark is a lane, the book of Luke is a lane, and the book of John is a lane. And if you start pulling from all the Gospels and give a sermon, you're swerving in the lanes all through the whole sermon. And I think that John is a trustworthy book because he's also the author of Revelation. And 3 other books, which are mostly just letters, but 1 John, 2 John, 3 John. So needless to say, he has a lot of authorship in here. You know, almost similar to how much Paul has. So what happens in the book of Revelation is there's something going on in the throne room in heaven. What it is essentially what Christ sees when he gets to heaven. And he gets up there and he's in the throne room. And somehow Christ manages, in front of God the Father, he manages to contact John, to reveal to John what's going on up there. And not only reveal to John about what's going on up there, but also reveal to John about the changes that are going to take place, because the baton's getting passed down from father to son. So Christ is revealing to John how Christ obtained his authority, and how Christ will, similarly, the same way that the Father is doing, pass authority down to the next one. So how does he do this? Well, Christ sees something when he's in the throne room. And he sees essentially what is a puzzle or a mystery. And this mystery involves 7 lampstands that represent the 7 churches. Now he also sees that there are 7 stars, 7 angels over the 7 churches. Now these 7 angels are also the 7 spirits of God, which is mentioned in the book. Which makes sense because we know that God created the universe in 7 days. as he was creating the universe, he was also creating himself. Because there's 7 spirits to God. And it took 7 days to make. 1 spirit each day. So Christ basically says, alright, this throne room, I'm going to change things. And I'm going to come out these lampstands. For reals. It's like, he does it as simply as just saying, like, I'm going to knock you over. Like, I'm just going to knock the lampstand over. He gets to heaven, and that's what he literally says. Like, what? You put these 7 lampstands in front of me? I'm just going to knock one over. Obviously, he can't write to the churches. He needs to have a battle buddy. And so we get John, who is still alive, possibly the last apostle alive at this point. So John is led, he says that he's led by the Spirit, which is Christ, up in the throne room, leading John to the island of Patmos, where Christ is basically going to contact John. John's going to have an encounter with what's going on up in heaven. He's going to have, and you know the encounters that I'm talking about. He's going to have one of these. And Christ is going to use John to write 7 letters out on that island to deliver to the 7 churches. Now, the interesting thing about the island of Patmos is that it's right off the coast of the area where these 7 churches are in Turkey. And so he's not far away from them, which is just interesting that the island is right off the coast. So, another advertisement. So John gets to the island and he encounters an angel and Christ through the angel. That's how Christ contacts people, is through these angels. These angels appear in front of the person, and in the angel is Christ delivering the message. So you gotta keep in mind when you're going through this book that the perspective is going to change from John's vision of what he's seeing up in heaven, because his body's still on the ground. His body's still down on the island, but all of his other stuff is up in heaven. And yet he can still recollect what's going down at the island and also what's going on up in heaven. So when he starts saying, and I saw an angel appear and he stood on the shore and stuff, people think that's talking about he's talking about just what's going on the island too. So don't lose yourself in this book, man. Don't lose yourself in this book. If you aren't reading this book with discernment, you're gonna get lost and you're gonna come up with all these wacky ideas. All these wacky ideas, man. Alright, so the first letter is this. That Christ tells John to write to an angel. So John is writing to an angel, but we also know that this letter is also going to go to physical churches too. Actually, we are going to pick up with the 7 letters in another video because this is good for now. We'll get into the 7 letters a little bit later. But in the meantime, I just want you all to know that there's no need to worry, baby. There's no need to worry, I promise you. My bros, my young bros, my old bros, my medium bros, however old, however young, I'm letting you men know there is no need to worry, my guys. There is no need to worry. The closer you are to the light, the less you need to worry. I'm going to make it as simple as that, as clear as that. So if you're struggling, I want you to wonder, how far away from the light are you? Because the light won't let you struggle. I promise you that. The light won't let you struggle. Unless it's to benefit you. But for the most part, it's all gravy, baby, up here. It is all gravy, baby. How's the self-improvement going? You working hard? You disciplining yourself? Are you taking inventory in your life of the things that bind you? Maybe considering letting them go one step at a time, one measly shave at a time, because I'm telling you, and you can stop things cold turkey for show. But you should also work on the method of just, for the big ones, you have to take every minute as a victory. Every single minute as a victory. Because we're talking about things in the mind here. Right? Checking your thoughts. Taking your thoughts captive. Because what goes on up here is a minute by minute, second by second, 30-second by 30-second thing. It don't stop. Those negative thoughts, they try to come in. You got to push them away instantly. Don't entertain those, man. Don't entertain those. You were created to overcome the world, not succumb to it. Remember that. Oh, my bros, my boys, my guys, dude, I wish that we could just be there already, you know? Where we all just chilling. Back like we did in the day. You may not remember, but I remember, man. We were camping out, bonfires after battles, you know, testing our mettle against other men. And it was all out of love. Because guess what? When we were together after those things, it was tighter than anything that the world is giving us now. So you might think like, oh, like, well, back then it was all just like primitive and this and that and this and that. No, man, it was brotherhood. That's what it was. We weren't consumers. We weren't looking at the world of what we could take from it. We were looking at the world of how we could conquer it. And conquering is different than taking. Conquering is a triple entendre. It's got many, many meanings, my guy. The word conquer scares people. To be a conqueror, it scares people. I'm telling you. In your circle of friends, start using that. Look at them. Be like, I'm gonna conquer you. Watch that. Watch their reaction. Say it to a woman. Watch her reaction. Don't say it to a woman. I take that back. That's gonna be a fire in your backyard that you will not be able to put out. Because that's who I'm talking about when I'm saying it scares them. But there's a lot about it that the good that I'm talking about. Remember, wherever there's discord, there's harmony. And there's harmony in conquering. And so if you think that we're done here, which most men probably do, they're not trained to conquer right now. You think American men are trained to conquer right now? No. You think other countries' men are trained to conquer? More than us. For show. And we look at that and we're okay with that. Why are we okay with that? Tell me, why are we okay with not being conquerors? When we are told that we are going to be more than conquerors. You see what I'm getting at, son? You see what I'm getting at, Pops? We've lost our way. For some reason, we thought that we don't need to teach our young men arts of self-defense. We don't need to teach them the art of combat. We don't need to teach them about honor in combat. Because killing and murder is a very, very, very serious thing. Instead, we shelter them from it. For what? For what? The fact that we have lost the way of combat and teaching it to young men, it's no wonder. It's no wonder why these young men are so frustrated and they feel like they're not getting their chi out, bro. And that's the way to do it. You've got to give these young men, you got to give them sparring partners, man. They need to grow up with sparring partners, physical sparring partners. They need to be sparring all the time. All the time. You should be practicing. You should be sparring all the time. Why? Why waste your time with anything else? Why waste your time with anything else? Because sparring with your boy, it fuels you physically, mentally, and spiritually, bro. And it makes you a fortress. It makes just two of you, even if it was just two of you. And you guys were sparring from sun up to sun down every single day for like 20 years, you guys would be an immovable two-person fortress. Now imagine if that was implemented into society. But no, it was taken out. It was taken out because we lost our fathers in the wars, bros. Do you understand that? We lost our poppies in the wars. And we were raised primarily by women. And now most of these men are lost. Unless they turn it around. And that's where we come in as brothers. We help each other and we say, hey, this is the way. Out there, no. That's not the way. Out there, this is the way. Come follow me. Come follow me. We'll be sparring non-stop, continuously. Because it is so important that men have that outlet, and it has been taken from us right now. Not only has it been taken from us, but the opposite has been forced in front of our eyes through TV and media and movies, where there is no honor in combat and war and stuff. And we have movies that are just strictly bloody, brutal murder, and we're fascinated by it. People are fascinated by it. And it should have never been like that. We should have never been fascinated by murder. We should have had honor. We should have it in our minds to honor our brothers, especially in combat. Especially in combat. And it's a scary subject, so of course, you know, there's good intentions behind it. You know, sheltering your sons from the art of combat to protect them. But the thing is that if you think that peace was right around the corner waiting for us, you're wrong. There's always teeth around the corner waiting for us. And most American men in the West are not prepared for the teeth that are about to come. They just aren't. Little homie. Now, there's one more thing I want to leave you with. You know, talking about not having any sort of warrior culture in our society, and how it might have just brought all of our sons to the slaughter. In all of it, it's okay, because just like how in a fight or in a battle, the tide of it can change instantly. So if it sounds like I'm talking to the sons and telling y'all that you're done because you never learned how to combat, that's not what I'm saying. In fact, I'm revealing to you that you're in combat right now. And you should use this opportunity listening to this video to turn the tide into your favor. Start shadow boxing, my guy. Go into your bathroom right now. Start throwing punches into the mirror. Don't hit the mirror. You know what I mean. Start throwing some kicks. Start stretching. Don't care about what you look like doing it. You think you're gonna care about how you look like if you get pressed up against some invader? Nah. Better start now. And in that is the hope, because I know that some of you will. This ain't no joke out here. And start telling your boys, start letting them know this ain't no joke. This is real life. This stuff is happening, and it's gonna happen. Let your females know too. they won't want to believe it. They won't want to hear it. Because remember what I say, like, the females, they have their own ideal of how they want the world to be, and how they want their men to be, and how they want their men to act. It's not about getting the men to act or be a certain way. It was never about that. As always, I love you guys. I love you, animals, the creatures of the sea, the creatures in the air. Don't you worry, baby. Don't you worry. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. And we're gonna get into those letters later. And the next video you watching me, I hope that you got some shadow boxing under you. Alright, that's all for now.